Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam to all of you. Shri Radha Madhav Ashtasaki Vrindiki Jai. Rajapur Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaya Sudarshan ki Jai. Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Anantadev ki Jai. On behalf of our leaders, I'd like to thank all the wonderful devotees for chanting in the Brahma Muhurta. So now we'll move on to the most sweetest part of the morning, that is discussions on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we could begin, I would like to, seek all your blessings. I'm doing this only for my own purification. I'll start with a very short kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari Gaurahari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaurahari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Jaya Pataka Swamiti Namane Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Krupadayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagaramutarane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, The Pandavas Retired Timely, text number 29. Vasudevangri Anudhyana Vasudevangri Anudhyana Paribrimhita Ramhasa Paribrimhita Ramhasa Bhaktya Nirmatita Ashesha Bhaktya Nirmatita Ashesha Kashaya Dishanaha Arjuna Kashaya Dishanaha Arjuna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Arjuna's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna rapidly increased his devotion, and as a result, all the thrash in his thoughts subsided. Purport. Material desires in the mind are the thrash of material contamination. By such contamination, the living being is forced with so many compatible and incompatible things that discourage the very existence of spiritual identity. Birth after birth, the conditioned soul is entrapped with so many pleasing and displeasing elements, which are all false and temporary. They accumulate due to our reactions to material desires. But when we get in touch with the transcendental Lord in his variegated energies by devotional service, the naked form of all material desires become manifest, and the intelligence of the living being is pacified in its true color. As soon as Arjuna turned his attention towards the instructions of the Lord, as they are inculcated in the Bhagavad Gita, his true color of eternal association with the Lord became manifest, and thus he felt freed from all material contaminations. Om Agnanatimarandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Datatri Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarvyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna once again. I would like to thank our sector leader MMD Prabhuji for giving us all this wonderful opportunity to share some points on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, in this particular verse, Arjuna's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, his devotion has increased, and as a result, the thrash, what Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, thrash in his thoughts are all subsided. So, actually, did Arjuna really have thrash in his thoughts? Was Arjuna having any bad or negative thoughts in his mind? Not at all. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Arjuna, right from his birth, was pure and his bhakti was perfect. Then where is this thrash contamination from? So from the previous verses, we can make out that this contamination was from his unsteadiness. Yeah. Because of being separated from the Lord, he was feeling the Vipralamba Bhava, right? And because of this, he was separated, and in the separation, he was feeling contaminated and he was unsteady. He was always in smaran of Krishna. And how can he get contaminated? So, in this shloka, I heard Srila Prabhupada lecture, and Prabhupada is saying this material world is full of anxieties. Everyone in a way or other, maybe the degree may change a little bit. So everybody is in anxiety and is struggling in different angles. You know, whether he may be a karmi, whether he may be a gnani, whether he may be a yogi. So Prabhupada is saying only two people in this world are happy. That is, one is a madman and other one is a devotee. So otherwise, everybody is unhappy in this world. But Prabhupada says spiritual life means it is anxiety less, but material life is full of anxiety. So here Prabhupada is giving an example for this anxiety. In fact, he's giving two examples. One is how people traveling. He gives an example of Mumbai. Of course, every major cities, now it's become like that. Even Bengaluru has become like that. So he's saying in Mumbai, how people, one person, how it travels from one place, and if he travels so far, he has to wake up early in the morning, 4, 5 p.m. Then he has to catch a train to reach the other end. Then he has to he reaches office by 10 a.m. Then throughout he works. Then again, he has to catch another train at 5 p.m. and reach home at 10 p.m. or something like that. So the whole day is gone, and we can see that throughout the journey has so much anxiety, isn't it? Even Bangalore city has become like that now. And now we may think it is only with human beings. No, the anxiety is there, even animals. Prabhupada gives another example of a bird. A bird, he wants to eat one grain, right? When it is taking one grain, it is looking out of fear, all the sides, right? Because it's afraid somebody may attack it. Even the bird is so full of anxiety. We may be thinking, oh, bird, no, it is got wings, it can fly away. No, but it is also got so much anxiety. It is also not able to eat one grain peacefully. So this anxiety is this one, no, it is harassing all the jivatmas in this material world. And but Srila Prabhupada is saying, just by remembering the Lord's lotus feet, Anudhyana, what is mentioned in the sloka, Anudhyana means even in the Bhagavad Gita, we find many words like Anusmaran, Anushashan, right? That means to say, remembering the Lord's lotus feet repeatedly, again and again. Anudhyana, remembering. So, Krishna's lotus feet, we can see in almost all the prayers of the pure devotees, like Kunti Maharani, the Bhishma Pitamaha. So, we can see all our prayers are to the lotus feet of the Lord. So, it is not for the eyes or any other anga of the Lord. But of course, everything about Lord is Madhuram, right? But they are focusing on the lotus feet. So Lord's lotus feet is so sweet that Lord himself is astonished. Why is my pure devotee or so much attached to my lotus feet? Even Lord wanted to experience the taste of his lotus feet, right? That is why Lord has Patapatra Sai, right? He took his toe and wanted to taste and see why those pure devotees are attached to my lotus feet. And Krishna, out of humility, he's thinking that because my pure devotees are always thinking of it, it has become sweet, right? Lord does not think himself great, So he is giving the credit to his pure devotees for his feet being so sweet. So even the description of the Lord's lotus feet, it is kind of reddish in color because the symptom of the color of love is considered as red. Not completely exactly like you all would have when you have gone in a temple or when you've seen the picture of the Supreme Lord, you could have seen the color of his lotus feet. It is somewhat kind of reddish or pinkish mixed with red or something like that. So that's why it appears red in color, lotus feet of the Lord. And second reason is Devi Mahalakshmi is always doing Pada Sevanam for the Supreme Lord. Her hands are like lotus hands. And because she's always massaging the lotus feet of the Lord's lotus feet has become reddish, right? There is another third reason why Lord's lotus feet is pinkish in color, because the pure devotees are always carrying Lord's lotus feet in their hearts, with love. And since the color of heart is red, it is appearing red in color. So another reason, fourth reason is there why Lord's lotus feet is red in color, because all the kings all over the world, they are coming to offer respects to the lotus feet of the Lord. And obviously, the kings are all wearing nice, crown. And the crown is all embellished with precious stones. And the precious stone, the red color stone, when they bow unto to pay obeisances to the lotus feet of the Lord, the red color gem that reflects on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and one by one, all the kings are paying obeisances, and thereby all that reflection of the color of the red is touching the lotus feet of the Lord, and hence the lotus feet of the Lord is appearing reddish in color, right? So these are some of the reasons why Lord's feet appears reddish in color. Here also we can see Arjuna is remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that this is the essence of life. What is that? Somehow or the other, we all have to develop the taste for the lotus feet of the Lord. Here Prabhupada is saying, the purport, the Lord is so madhuram. So every part of his body is like madhuram. So I am reminded of a beautiful composition by Vallabhacharya about Lord's madhuram. So I would like to sing one verse, though there are 8 verses. Adaram maduram, vadanam maduram, nayanam maduram, hasitam maduram, hridayam maduram, gamanam maduram, maduradipatir Akilam Maduram. Sorry. So Lord is so beautiful. So it is said that Lord's sweetness is like condensed form of honey. So honey is considered as the most sweetest item. You all know that. So from the Lord's lotus feet to the Lord's kesh, that is a ball, everything is Maduram. But the reason why we are not able to be attracted to such a beautiful Lord is because Srila Prabhupada says that the material desires, what is mentioned here, trash, this material desires or the trash in our mind is a reason for us for not getting attracted to Krishna. Here, Prahlad Maharaj quotes an example, that is of an iron and a magnet. What is the nature of an iron? The nature of the iron is to get attracted to magnet, and naturally it get attracted. But on only one condition, the iron fillings does not get attracted to the magnet, and that is that is when it get rusted. When the iron fillings are rusted, it doesn't attract to the magnet. So our problem also is, as said in the purport, material desires. And that rust is the lust, which is in the mind. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, lust is in the mind, the senses, and the intelligence. Three sitting places of this lust, which is not allowing us to get attracted to the Supreme Lord. This is the main problem of all the conditioned souls. So what is the process to purify this mind, chitta? It is not only external, internally also we have to get cleansed. So Prabhupada says that we have to dissolve the mind, chitta. Means externally it's been covered with so many impressions of so many lifetimes. On the other hand, what is our original chitta? Our original chitta is to develop attraction to Krishna's name, form, pastimes, qualities, etc. That is our original chitta. Because of the coverings of so many lifetimes, we are not able to awaken. Though we are engaged in many devotional activities, we are not able to awaken. But we can see here, even in the spiritual world, there is this, the real ego, real intelligent. Anyways, it is Sachidananda. Thinking, feeling, willing, everything is there in the spiritual world also. But the point is, there is no material covering there, as it is completely dissolved. So original nature of the soul is there, which is love for Krishna in the spiritual world. But that is not the same with the material world. Again, Srila Prabhupada gives an example of sugar. Sugar means sweetness, right? We don't have any other explanation for that. Simple. Sugar means sweetness. Simply. So, similarly, living entities means Krishna consciousness. The original nature is Krishna consciousness. Why it doesn't manifest is only because of desire, which doesn't please Krishna. So, which is in our mind, sense, and intelligence. So, all the three levels have to be purified. Once purified, then the original state will automatically manifest. So Prabhupada quotes another example of a father and son. So there is a love between father and son that is very natural. But if the son wants to, loiter around, he wants to be independent of the father, then that is where the problem arises. But once he realizes that his mistake and he comes back to his father, then everything becomes fine. Similarly, this jiva also, the only thing which is holding us in this material world is a desire to lord it over the material nature, to enjoy independently of Krishna. That's why sometimes we see that even after many years of practice, we are still not developed this taste, right, for Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada is giving another example of a ship. So all the people got into the ship, and they are supposed to go from one place to another place. So the whole night, the ship was being driven. But in the early morning, when they saw, they were in the same place where they were started. What happened? Why? Because they did not remove the anchor. When the ship is, in the shore, they put the anchor and stop it. But the moment you have to move, you have to remove the anchor. That anchor was not removed. Hence, they remained in the same place. So, these material desires are like the anchor, not allowing us to move forward in the bhakti. So, Prabhupada is giving another example. He's saying we no need to worry. It is quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, text number 10. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogane yajate purusham param. So, translation says the person who has broader intelligence, whether he is full of desire, whether without any material, whether is full of material desire or without any material desire or desire liberation, must all means worship the supreme whole, the personality of Godhead. Another, also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 32nd shloka, Mam hi partha vapasrishya ye apisya papayonaha sriyo vaishyas tata shudras te apiyanti param gatim. So, translation is, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of low birth, women, Vaishyas or Shudras, can attain the supreme destination. So Prabhupada is saying very clearly, even the category of Nechas, Chandalas also can be elevated to devotional service. So devotional service need not have any external qualification. Just that we have to follow Guru, Sadhu and Shastra and will be elevated to the platform of Paramahamsa. This is the potency of devotional service. When we are addicted to a person who has developed, develop love for Krishna and render service to him, follow in his footsteps, automatically we'll get the taste that have for devotional service, and automatically that love for Krishna will come into our hearts. Here once again, Narada Muni, he's saying about his previous birth to Vyasadeva. He's saying that just by associating with Bhakti Vedantas, right? All his material contaminations were cleared and he developed taste for devotional service. This is the power of Sadhu Sangha, which is very, very purifying. So this devotional service, what Chaitanya Prabhu has given, the treasure of love of God, it's called Golekara Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. This treasure was, though it is bought by Chaitanya Prabhu, but it was actually broken by Nityananda Prabhu, now which is spreading all over the world. Each and every corner of the world, people are able to experience this love for Krishna, right? We all can see that. So, Srila Prabhupada has given this very movement, which is very, very simple, actually. Yeah. But to get Krishna is not so easy. You know why? Because he's got 3 bends. We cannot get him so directly. Krishna will give bhakti only after we surrender to him. Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam sharanam vaja. Aham tam sarva papebhyam mokshesyami masuchaha. Krishna is saying Bhagavad Gita. Only after we surrender, Krishna will relieve us from all. Krishna will relieve us from all sinful activities. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very special. He says that just chant the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Only by chanting the holy name, this will take us to the level of Sharanagati which Krishna is expecting us, right? So we just have to chant anyways. Of course, chanting with quality is the best, but if you're not able to do with quality, still we have to, have to try, endeavor to chant and hear, which is very important. Shravanam, it's very important. But in this course, we can see that our mind is so wavering. All of us, at least I am experiencing that. So Srila Prabhupada says, how to put a lock to our mind, to our mind. So how to put a lock? When we hear, our mind is locked. Because when we hear, mind cannot speak. So at least in my case, the problem is we are hearing. We are not hearing. Because we are not hearing, mind is speaking so many things inside. So that is the reason. So Prabhupada is saying that we have made the mind driver of the chariot. We have made our mind driver of our chariot. But when we hear Krishna Katha, our mind gets locked. That means mind has nothing to speak and we have to only hear Krishna Katha. So, so when we keep on hearing and hearing, what happens? So Srimad Bhagavatam 1:17 says that Shinvatam Katha Krishnaha Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hriday Antastihi Abhadrani Vidunoti Shuhrit Satam. When we keep on hearing all that is troublesome to the heart, that will completely get eradicated and loving devotional service to Krishna will be established in our hearts. So Prabhupada is saying that hearing is a practice. Just by hearing, we can know everything. And again, Prabhupada quotes a beautiful example here. He says about a radio. When you hear the radio, we'll know everything what is going all over the world. Hearing is so powerful. Just like that, if we hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna Katha from pure devotees, one's gurus, superiors, and being in the associations of devotees, doing sevas, we will know everything what is going on in the spiritual world. So, chanting and hearing is very important. Chanting is very, very important. It's the core principle of bhakti. Like chanting is also the heart of bhakti. Just like for living entities, heart is very important. Similarly, chanting is very important. Chanting. So, but here, one more thing I would mention that chanting and scriptures have a very small difference. In scriptures, we have to hear, then study again and contemplate, then it will go inside. It takes little time. That is, it involves 3 steps. That is, study, hear, study and contemplate. But holy name is not like that. When we hear Srila Prabhupada purport on Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he says that by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one will immediately be elevated to the transcendental platform, surpassing all lower stages of mind, senses, and false ego. So chanting goes straight into the soul and it awakens the original Krishna consciousness, awakens. So the sound has that potency. Srila Prabhupada in fact said that sound is the origin of this creation. So we can know that how powerful is the sound. And we can, one more point is, there are so many others also doing Bhagavata Saptahas. Why they are not able to awaken? Because that only goes to the mind. It is like some entertainment, that's all. It remains as information, but no transformation happens. Why? Because the sound, the Shabda is not pure. That's why it remains in the mind and it doesn't get into the heart and soul. But when we hear from Srila Prabhupada, his disciples, his pure devotees, read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it will help us to directly penetrate. And Srila Prabhupada says that one can feel the transcendental ecstasy. And here, we all would have experienced it. Just like a child, when we are in a temple, we see some children, they'll be dancing in the hall. So when the kirtan is going on, just like that, a child spontaneously dances hearing the kirtan in the temple. This is the capacity of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone has to chant this. See, all of us are chanting the same Hare Krishna mantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, and all of us, everyone, we also have the same Hare Krishna mantra. We are all chanting. But the potency of the holy name will be revealed according to the sincerity, attitude, and the faith of each individual. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada says the perfection of chanting is when we get the realization that There is no difference between Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Krishna. It's called Abhinatvam. Yeah. This is, when we realize this, then this is the stage of pure devotee. Yeah. So, so to chant, we need the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the deities, devotees association, Guru. Guru is the one who teaches us how to chant, in what mood you have to chant, and the understanding and the sincerity in which we have to chant. So, finally, Srila Prabhupada says that just by hearing we can achieve perfection. We just have to put little endeavor, and that will become a part, and after that, it will become a part of our life. So, chanting becomes good when hearing is good, right? And then everything else will be good. Like, if hearing is good, kirtan is good. If hearing and kirtan is good, smaranam is good. If hearing, kirtan, smaranam is good, then seva will be good. In this way, it is like a chain. Then, but everything begins with hearing. So one more point I would say, and I would stop. So Dinabandhu Prabhu, very famous, everybody know who is in Vrindavan. He gave an example of a motor. When we switch on the motor for water. So the water, when you switch on the motor, sometimes the water doesn't come up immediately. So what we should do, we have to open that gas valve beside, and we have to pour little water in that. And then if you switch on the motor, then water will automatically comes. So Prabhu says that our hearing is like that, I believe. Everyone is in Krishna consciousness by default, right? Only thing that we have to open that valve, our hearing. We have to open that. When we keep on hearing, what will happen? Like the water gushes, right? When the water gushes, similarly, love for Godhead automatically gushes out. So, finally, to conclude or to summarize the whole thing, point number 1 was, the whole world is filled with anxieties. The solution is to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, just like Arjuna did. Everything about Krishna is so sweet, especially the lotus feet, which is why the pure devotees take shelter. Then third point is, Arjuna also is remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says that is the essence of life. All of us should endeavor for that. Then the fourth point is, we are not getting attracted because of desires, which is compared to the rusted iron. So our chitta is covered by impressions of so many lifetimes, which can be removed by performing devotional service. Finally, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and hearing is very important. And that too, it should be from pure devotees to transform our hearts and purify our chitta, the mind, and to attain the stage of pure devotional service. Thank you all very much. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patita Pavana Guru Dev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.